to the end of the year and we are finally heading for a celebration time. But I know this year has been unlike other years. This year was full of challenges. The year 2020, we have seen the most disastrous period in the world of business and for the mankind. We were down with pandemic and all the bad things the mankind could see we have gone through. And this is a time when most of the business people are really worried. We are really worried about the downtrend, the kind of economic recession which we can see. There are definitely a very poor shape, a lean shape for almost every segment. So what exactly the organizations are thinking, or how exactly these business houses are going to revamp their business, and once again how you're going to ensure that they're all back in profit. Most of the time, for most of the entrepreneurs and the business people, they are often thinking about what exactly they can do to stay in competition, and especially when they're going through this kind of critical phase, they always have to do something which we call as internal and external benchmarking. But before we talk about internal and external benchmarking, the biggest point is how to really engage the employees. This video, we are really going to dedicate how we can engage our employees, or in short, how you can retain your top performers or the best team of your company. Because whenever we talk about a good team, it is always the team which yields best result for you. And during the lean phase, we always know it is important to stick back to the best team who really can perform even at the most stressful situation of your company. Many times it has been seen that even the company is really going through a bad business cycle, the people who are dedicated, who are committed to their company, even they are ready to work at a slashed pay packet. There was a time when Toyota was really going through a bad phase. The employees have promised that they are ready to work even at a slashed pay. The first person who really came up was Mr. Toyota, who really sacrificed his own salary for giving employees salary. So this is all about a good leadership. But when we talk today, we always see that people really struggle to ensure the loyalty for the employees. Even the top performers, whenever they find a better opportunity, they really don't hesitate to switch their jobs. So why exactly is this problem happening every time? No matter how good compensation or how better pay packet you pay, still the employees always would tend to move to the greener pastures. We need to understand before this what exactly are the different phases of the workforce cycle through the ages. There was a time of industrial revolution when people are really having very less opportunities and they're really dedicated and they wanted to be retained and stick back to their employers, no matter how much the employer are abusive, how much they were cruel, but still they wanted to stay back, because that time people have very less opportunities and they wanted to be in their job. And that is why we have seen our grandfathers and our grandparents where they have been working in an organization from the beginning till the age of their retirement. And there comes a time when we have seen information revolution, and this information revolution has taught us that how we can look for better work environment, how we can get better information, and we got more access to information. That is why we can see there is a plethora of jobs for the worthy people, and people really don't hesitate to leave for a better opportunity. And this thing again ends by almost at the end of 2008 after the IT recession, where we see that this economic recession is actually finishing the information revolution. And after this information revolution, the new era which starts, that is all about social revolution. Yes, this is an era where we talk about social independence, where we talk about social networking. Today, if you talk about people really want to be living a quality life, a quality culture, they all are more quality conscious. People are no more just only thriving to get better information and ensure the basic necessity of the life, but they are also wanting to go for a quality life cycle. These days people really don't matter that if they are getting a new brand to move on or to join a startup, but they still look for a quality career. So what matters to them is the kind of career or the quality life they're going to get. So whenever we are trying to retain employee, we always have to understand that in this age of social accessibility, where people are having random access to different social network and different kind of social opportunities opening up to them, what are the things they should do which will help them to motivate their employees and retain them back in their job? Because if we talk about big companies, they generally do not give very often pay hikes, or they really do not like giving too many facilities, but still they have certain facilities and opportunities which really can bind the employee together. In this video, I would discuss some 6 points which I felt is important, and those important points are very useful if you can rightly implement in your organization. So let's get started, but before I should tell you that I'm Premankur.das. I'm an international trainer and motivator, and if you're watching my video for the first time, I would request you to subscribe my channel and of course click on the bell button so that you are always notified for such interesting and informative videos. So let's get into the topic. So the first point which I'm going to tell you to retain your top performer is, please ensure that you have shown the direction of your company to your employee. Because most of the time when we hire an employee, we always try to get the best talent. We always try to make sure that we are getting the person who is best in the world. But you always make a small mistake, because we never really understand that what kind of background or the culture from where the employee we are hiring. It may happen that we are hiring an employee for an MNC culture where the person is really working in a very organized work style. If he has worked in an organized style, he may find it difficult to work in a startup company. So the kind of culture matters, and sometimes it becomes a major reason of conflict, and after a small point of time he starts disliking the team, the environment, and a time comes when he becomes effectively demotivated. So when we hire an employee, we have to always understand that what exactly is the culture and from where we are bringing the person, so that we can always show them the direction and the kind of organizational path. What is the policy? What are the goals of the organization? If you have really given the right effort in showing the path or the proper organizational policy, then definitely the employee from the very first day will be motivated to his or her work. Second thing, you have to always understand that after showing the organizational path, when we bring an employee, it is really important that how we could engage the employee. Because if we talk about retaining an employee, it is always possible when you really know how to engage them by giving them the right assignment and the right job. Because if you have got the best talent, you should know that what kind of work you should do, or what kind of assignment you should give them, which can really charge them up and every them they get a zeal to work and give their best performance. So if you have really kept a proper talent mapping program, you should be really able to retain your best talents. Now, what do I mean by proper talent mapping? Many times people think that if I have just prepared a proper KRA and I have given them some target, my employees are really mapped well and they are engaged. But please understand that engaging employee is not just giving them a proper KRA or forcing them to go for a target. You should have an open communication one-to-one with each employee so that you can understand that what exactly are the facilities or what are the challenges they are facing, what exactly are the parameters they are really looking for, or what sort of environment they would require to fulfill those KRA. And if you can do that, it will be easier for you to ensure that you have been able to successfully map the employees with their talent and you have been able to engage them properly. And the third thing which comes is how you can get them committed to the organization, because it may happen that during this kind of difficult time you may require the employee to not only give their 100% but the extra effort which will help you to really overcome this bad phase. And for that you have to ensure that you are really giving them a proper work culture. Now, what do we mean by proper work culture? Many times we are just thinking that by giving some big slogans like equal opportunity, or if you are really giving open door policy, you have ensured a good work culture. By giving good work culture is, you always have to make sure that the kind of relationship which you are keeping with your employees, because I have come across a lot of so-called SMEs or MNCs where I have seen that they are always living in the different hierarchies. So if there is a problem for people at the grassroots level, they never could really take up their problem to the top CEOs or the management. So how much your management is transparent and how much the communication is taking place, because many a times the problems are really remaining under the carpet, and that is why we can see that the attrition level goes high. And if something is really affecting the company internally, it is always the high attrition rate. But attrition is normal, but we need to understand that when we really can keep the communication open, many times we can overcome this challenge and we can easily retain those people, because people really wanted to get a better work culture or a better work environment. People really don't change their job, they just change their managers. If they do not like the kind of environment or the work culture, they will really not think of staying back in your organization. And this leads to the most important point which I'm going to tell you is point number 4, is taking care of the employee by giving the best package for compensation and opportunity. Of course, we all need good salaries, and that is why every time whenever we have an appraisal or whenever we have got the year end, we are always thinking about that this year how much percentage of hike we are going to get. It has been noted that most of the companies are giving 5 to 7% hike on a standard note, but there are some exceptional companies who always give some better pay hike as well. But it is always not the pay packet which motivates an employee. It is something more. It has been seen that there are a lot of non-monetary opportunities which we could do for employees, which can help them retain this for a longer run. In some companies, it has been seen they sponsor the education or the professional upgradation of their employees, which could be also reason to stay back. In some companies, they have certain facilities where they take care of their children higher education or their marriage or sometime of their parents' treatment. So certain facilities are giving them a kind of a bonding with the company, which will always help the employees to feel more secure and more at home when they are really thinking about changing for a better opportunity, because this time they really understand that they are more committed as the organization is caring for them. We have seen during this pandemic, most of the employees are really very much worried, but there are certain organizations who have come up and they have shown the level of caring and safety for their employees. They have given them work at home facility, and some of them have given the full salary even they are in their holiday. This is because the organization understands that every employee is definitely the first customer for them. So before you really understand this, you have to understand that giving a flexible work culture is really important and how much you care for your employee. So if you can really give them that feeling that you are really taking care of your employee, you are taking care of their safety, you are taking care of their well-being, I'm sure your employee, when their turn comes, they will also do their best, and they will really not hesitate to stay committed and giving that extra mile for your business. And finally, the 6th point which I'm going to tell you is you have to ensure that whatever you are really doing, you have to ensure that every time you really take care of building up a proper, conducive work pattern, because your reward and recognition is very important. The work pattern should be made in such a mechanism that every time the employees are getting recognized for their work, because every employee wants them to recognize, whether they are blue collar job or white collar jobs, they still want a proper recognition, because we have seen many people, even during this pandemic, they have gone beyond their career and have done a lot of jobs for the betterment and the well-being of your organization and for the team. So we have to really have certain facilities that we could recognize those frontliners, those workers, those who have really not even cared for their life and have given the best for their team and the well-being of their business. So this is what is very important. A team must have certain mechanism which can really make a wonderful recognition and reward management system, so that every time they really perform well, you should have a systematic reward and recognition system which will always help them to move ahead and give their best at all times. Because a best employee can always be only when they have got a conducive work culture and environment which always help them to scale up in their career. Because if you help the employees to scale up in their careers, then only they can give you a scalable business, a scalable product line, and of course a happening business. Probably if you have really listened to all the 6 points, I'm sure these 6 points are going to revive your business, and this will help you to revive your business once again. And I hope this new year we are going to get a lot of success in our organization, and we'll be successful in retaining the top talent in your company. Stay well, stay blessed, and stay positive till the time I meet you again once more for such an interesting and positive video. Thank you.